Hi everyone, this is Anna Levesque from mindbodypaddle.com, and in this week's vlog I want to talk about how to have an empowering response when someone is criticizing you or you feel like they're attacking you personally or professionally, and how to have an empowering context and response around that so that you suffer less, right? And this might happen at your Thanksgiving table next week. If you're in the US. So this happened to me very recently. I was someone in a public forum made some very negative comments attacking me personally regarding how I handled a situation a few years ago. And at first when I was reading the comments, I started to, my heat started rising in my body, my heart started beating fast, and that adrenaline. So my body's stress response was ready to activate because my brain was telling me that I was under attack. Okay. The truth of it is that there was no attack, physical attack, right? There was no physical harm that was going to come to me. In that moment, I was in my home and I was safe. And so once I because I could become aware of my physiological responses and name them, this is my stress response, I could also remind myself that I am safe. I am safe, there's no physical threat here. So that's number one. And you can do it to yourself. You can take a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose to help yourself relax, okay? The next thing is you want to really hear the other person, like really listen, really take in what they're saying, because their experience is valid. That is how they experienced you or how they're experiencing a situation. How someone reacts to you is it's all about them and very little about you. Okay, so it's their context for life. And you want to be able to actually have a conversation with them, you need to really listen and take it in and get into their world. Yeah. The third part of it is then to acknowledge them for expressing themselves and to acknowledge that you heard them. And we all can relate, right? Once someone actually expresses something authentically of how they felt, it's easy to understand, oh, I hear you, right? I get where you're coming from. I could see how that could have been my actions could have been interpreted that way, or that that I could understand how you would have seen it in that context. And so really letting them know authentically that you hear them, right? And then inviting them. The fourth thing is to invite them in for a conversation. I understand. I hear that this is how it occurred for you. Here's how it occurred for me, or for me, here's what's going on with me. Now, they may or may not be willing to hear you, and that's okay. Because the last thing is, it's really important to give up being right? Our ego wants us to be right. Again, it's a protective mechanism. I'm right, they're wrong. And there's no right or wrong, right? We're all doing the best that we can, including Seba, with the level of awareness that we have, all right? And so and by the way, this doesn't mean that you condone what they're saying or that you agree with it, right? You can give up being right and acknowledge them for expressing themselves and be willing to let it go, right? And to know that you did the best that you could, and that you're willing to have a conversation, and that if it comes to there's an inability to have understanding, or someone refuses to have a conversation, that's okay, because you know that you've done your best, right? So just to recap, the 5 things you can do if someone's in conflict with you or you feel attacked personally or professionally is: 1, notice it in your body. Notice the stress response. Become aware so that you can tell your brain, you can remind yourself that there's no actual physical threat. Number 2, be willing to listen to them. Once you've relaxed, listen authentically. Number 3, acknowledge that what they went through or what they feel or their understanding is valid to them, right? Number 4 is invite them into a conversation, right? That is authentic. And number 5, be willing to give up being right. So I hope that's helpful. And I hope you all have an awesome Thanksgiving. And if you're interested more in strategies for empowering mindset, then please contact me. I work with folks one-on-one. I love talking about this stuff in all of my retreats and camps and classes. So yeah, hit reply. Let me know what you think. Share some stories if you have them. And I look forward to hearing from you. Again, happy Thanksgiving, everyone.